Hey again, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. I was just thinking about this, so I want to remind you of it. Make sure that during this very confusing and very frightening time, that whenever you are online, you are taking breaks if you need to for your own mental health. I've kind of had to put a cap on how many times I go to CNN and look at the live updates because I could do that all day and I would just be freaking myself out all day. Also, that you make sure that you look at reliable sources. Don't just I don't know, go onto Twitter or Facebook or TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and be relying on those as your sources about COVID-19 right now. Make sure that you go to the New York Times, that you go to a reputable news site, that you check out the Department of Health through Pennsylvania or through your own state, because every state has a Department of Health, and that you go to the CDC's website. Okay, I know there's a glare in my glasses again. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to fix that or anything, or the lighting in general. So this is what it is. Here's what we're going to do in this video, though. I want to go over the second essay assignment sheet with you guys. I'm assigning it a little bit earlier because I want you all to have time to really work and get feedback from me. So usually I would just have you guys come and meet with me one-on-one if you had questions. But instead, because we're all working at a distance, and I know that you guys are trying to juggle so many things, potentially being home among family members, and also all of your other classes being online, which could actually take up way more time than your courses normally would. I want to make sure that you guys turn in a draft so I can give you feedback on this second essay before you turn in your final draft, just so that you have a little bit more structure built in. You definitely get some feedback from me. So let's go over this essay number 2 assignment sheet. So if you go to our daily lesson folder, I think it's called Online Lesson March 24th, you will see that there is a link in there and there's a file that you can download that has the essay number 2 assignment sheet on it. I'm also going to upload it to where you submit essay number 2. So everything will still be submitted through Blackboard. I have also created, so there's a link to upload the final draft, or the final version rather, of your essay, but there's also a link now on Blackboard to upload your draft as well. Okay, so let's go over this. So you guys know the drill. The format needs to be MLA. Cite your sources, right? Please make sure that you do in-text citations and that you do a works cited page. You can ask me questions about citing an MLA. You can also check out that link to Purdue OWL that is in the course content section of our Blackboard site. The length needs to be the same as the last one. It's 4 to 5 pages. This does not include your works cited page. Let me see, and it needs to be in Times New Roman font, of course, and just like the last essay, this one is worth 20% or 200 points. Your draft of this essay is due Tuesday, April 7th by midnight on Blackboard. You need to submit at least 2 pages. Anything less than that, and it's kind of hard for me to really comment and see what kind of direction your essay is taking. So the 2 pages is really so that you have maybe about half of your essay done whenever you turn in a draft, but also it lets me go ahead and intervene or say, yes, you're doing great, or you need to do more of this, so I can give you guys better feedback. And your final draft is due Tuesday, April 21st by midnight on Blackboard. Okay, my throat's a little bit dry. This isn't water, it's mango juice. It tasted really weird to me this morning, but I think that's because I brushed my teeth super thoroughly. Brush your teeth. Okay. I hope I don't have to tell you guys that. So back on topic. For your final essay of the semester, you are tasked with writing an essay of close literary analysis. The goal of this essay is, of course, to generate a thesis. Sorry guys, I'm moving over my Word document here. To generate a thesis, find evidence to support this thesis, analyze your evidence, and thus create an argument that upholds your reading of the text, right? This is about your reading of the text. In other words, I'm just repeating myself. In other words, this is about your interpretation of what we have read. You can use any analysis we have done in class that you may have compiled in your notes. You are also encouraged, however, to also bring new, that was repetitive, to bring new ideas to the table through your own interpretations of passages. So again, anything that you have in your notes about the texts, you can go ahead and use. And then please make sure that you do bring some of your own ideas and interpretations to the table as well. And you might even choose to examine passages that we didn't get around to in class. Like, there's whole books to examine, right? There's no way that we can get around to everything in class. So in addition to creating a close reading of the text, you will want to support this close reading with research. So you do still need to do research for this essay, but I've tried to make it a little bit easier, so please pay attention carefully to this next part. You will still need 2 sources. Choose sources from our extra readings, such as those about women and gender studies, gender theory, queer theory, etc., from your fellow students' works cited page of their PowerPoint presentations and/or critical material from our editions, such as an essay included in the Norton edition of O Pioneers. So this way you don't really have to go and hunt down research for your essay unless that's something that you really want to do. You can just use any of the sources that your fellow students have compiled, that we have read from, or that are in the critical editions of some of the texts that we have read, so that you don't have to go around and be scrambling through the library, because right now, of course, the library is physically closed at Duquesne. You can still connect with a librarian if you go and you chat through the library website with them. But things are definitely going to be a little bit slower and a little bit more difficult potentially to get sources. I'm already facing that with my dissertation and I'm not happy. So I don't want to put that extra burden on you guys. Just use the sources that we already have in your own brains and notes. Your brains are very, very smart. I've seen plenty of evidence of this. Okay. So whenever you do include research from your sources, remember that you want to do that via summary, paraphrase, and quoting. And that mostly from your secondary sources, you would want to use summary and paraphrase and just quote only when absolutely necessary. Okay. So I have some prompts for you guys too. Excuse me, my nose is itchy. So the first 4 of these are going to look very, very familiar to you guys. All that I've done is add 2 new prompts for the texts that we have read since the last time that you were assigned an essay. So you can write about King Lear, Cleopatra, A Life, Cavendish's The Convent of Pleasure or The Blazing World, or you can write about O Pioneers, or Mama Day. So I recommend choosing a text that you feel comfortable with and that you enjoyed actually reading. Hopefully there's one, at least one, that you have enjoyed reading during the class. The only caveat here is that you can't write about the same text or prompt that you wrote about for essay number 1. So a lot of you wrote about Cleopatra, A Life for essay number 1. You can't write about that for essay number 2. You have to do something new. It's just something different, okay? If you have any questions at any stage in the process, so I've skipped down, I'm on page 2 right beneath the prompts. If you have any questions at any stage in the process, whether that's choosing a topic, finding research, although that I think should be easier this time around, drafting, finishing up, please feel free to contact me. Seriously, you're not going to bug me. Please, 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 if you have questions, you feel like you need help, etc., contact me. And if you're like, oh my god, it's so hard for me to figure this out, just communicating with Courtney via email, then we can even see if we can set up some kind of Skype session. Okay, I am more than happy to help or simply act as a sounding board as you work through your ideas. After that, you're going to see some recommended steps. for you guys, but remember, if those steps don't work for you, you don't have to follow those. And then below that, you'll see the rubric, and the rubric should look pretty familiar to you guys. Your thesis is worth 25 points. Your analysis of the text is worth 55 points. Remember, for me, you guys doing close analysis of the text that you're writing about is the most important thing. You want to quote from the text, and you want to closely analyze that passage to demonstrate how it ties in to your argument and the thesis that you have at the beginning of your essay. Your argument is worth 45 points. Your research gathering is worth 25. Your research use is worth 40, and just that you've written your essay in MLA and you've used MLA properly for like citations and things is worth 10 points. So again, the total points are worth 200. All right, if you guys have questions, you can of course email me, although you can also go to the discussion board, which is listed as essay number 2 assignment sheet questions, and ask a question there. I really recommend doing that because then your fellow students can see your question and can also see my answer. All right, you guys, I will see you in the next video, which is me doing some analysis of Mama Day.